You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
We're now joined with Joanne Burt, and she's going to be telling us all about Swale VCS Training. Joanne, firstly, welcome along, and thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thanks for having me along.
Now, could you tell me more about Swale VCS Training?
Yes, of course. Swale VCS Training is a project which is run and supported by Swale Council for Voluntary Service. It provides training for the voluntary sector in Swale. It's been running since about 2004. At first, we had lottery funding to work in partnership with two other CVSs in North Kent. But the funding has just come to an end, as funding tends to do. So now VCS Training is having a rebrand and a relaunch and going out on its own. It's an exciting time for the service. We're going to redesign our logo and our website and all our publicity material and streamline our booking system to make things simpler and reorganise our service to enable us to provide the most effective training courses possible for the sector.
So, Joan, could you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I've been working for the CVS for about 8 years, but I've been in the voluntary sector for a lot longer, nearly 17 years, so I've a good understanding of what the people need and how it all works. I've worked in the past for national charities such as MENCAP and Royal British Legion, both times in a training role. At MENCAP I was a family advisor, and that meant giving people information and support about learning difficulties, and also running training courses for both the staff and the public. At the British Legion I was helping disabled people finding employment, which entailed teaching them interview skills and lots of vocational skills as well. They were very satisfying jobs, but I really enjoy working at the CVS as the work's incredibly varied and you never know what you're going to end up being involved in.
We are at the moment talking to Joanne Burt, and she's telling us all about Swale VCS Training right here at the Monday Night Community Show. We are joined with Joanne Burt at the moment, and she's telling us all about the Swale VCS Training right here at the Monday Night Community Show. What is your role there?
I run the training department. It's a very small part of the overall service that the Council for Voluntary Service provides. My role essentially is to listen to what the sector wants, find out their training needs, and then to arrange the courses to meet those needs wherever possible. I can also signpost people to other organisations if we're not able to help them.
Where are you based then, Joanne, and what are your opening times?
Right, I'm based at the CVS building on Central Avenue in Sittingbourne. The office is open during normal office opening hours, and although I might not always be in, there's always somebody there who can take a message, or I can be reached by email. My email address is joe, that's J-O, .burt, B-U-R-T, at swalecvs.co.uk, and the telephone number is 01795 473 828.
So, Joan, what is the aim of the Swale VCS Training?
Well, the aim is to provide quality, relevant training courses for the voluntary and community sector at reasonable, affordable prices. We don't make a profit on our courses. The price of a place on a course reflects its real cost, and any savings are passed on to the sector, and that's why our training represents good value for money. What we need is for the sector to tell us what training is important to them. We'll continue to run all the mandatory training courses as usual, but we really want to know the views of the sector. What courses would be useful to your staff and your volunteers? Do you prefer half-day training or whole-day courses? Would you be interested in attending online courses, such as by webinar? During the quieter summer months, we'll be issuing a questionnaire to capture people's views, but in the meantime, we'd love to hear from the community. So please call us with queries, suggestions or requests on anything to do with training.
We are at the moment talking to Joanne Burt, and we're talking all about the Swale VCS Training right here at BRFM. We are talking to Joanne Burt. She's from Swale VCS Training. Joanne, do you hold events?
Well, apart from our obvious training events, yes, we have in the past held lots of networking events, and we'd be willing to do it again in the future if that's what's required. That's the beauty of redesigning the service. It can be shaped into anything that the sector needs. If training, networking events or workshops are the way forward, then these can be provided. But we need to hear from the community. We're not going to do it unless people want it, as it would be a waste of resources.
How are you funded?
Well, at present, we're not funded by any external sources in any way at all. So the course cost has to be met by the attendees so that each one is self-funding. We will of course keep looking for suitable funding streams and search out free training wherever possible. But we feel that training is a very important issue and we'll strive to continue to provide the service to the sector for as long as possible. But it is important that the sector gets involved and attends the courses, because if we have to stop the training programme, other providers will charge much more for places on a course. We're extremely competitive, flexible and friendly, so make the most of us and book up your training places soon.
Joanne, before you go, I was wondering if you could just recap on those contact details and, of course, your opening times as well.
Yes, of course I can. So my email address is joburt, that's jo.burt, at Swale CVS, that's swaleCVS.co.uk. Our telephone number at the office is 01795 473 828. We're open Monday to Friday, 9 till 5.
Joanne, I'd like to thank you very much for coming along and telling us all about the Swale VCS training.
Thank you very much for having me, Daniel.